All right, guys, just a quick message. Jesus' parable about the tares in the wheat. And if you read it, it gives you the explanation for it and says that it's basically representative of the evil people and good people, those who are saved and unsaved. The wheat are saved and the tares are the unsaved. And the question is basically, why doesn't God just take away all the evil people in the world, right? And Jesus explains this through a parable, saying if he took away all the evil people, it would uproot the wheat as well. Like if he took up all the tares, it would uproot the wheat as well. So basically the idea is that evil people cause good people to be more good, right? And it makes sense. Like they always say, when there's persecution against Christians, what happens to the Christians? They became even more devoted to Christ. They pray more, they're more fearless, they face their fears, they preach the gospel more, they want to save people more, all these things. So if God were to take all the evil people out right away, let's just say kill them or something, then let's say half of the people half of the good people, half of the saved people would end up turning evil, let's just say, because there wasn't that friction that caused them to remain holy. They got too comfortable, everybody's saved, and all these type of things, right? So that's kind of the idea of that. But I was meditating on Jesus being the creator of all things, and the Son of God, Jesus, through God the Father and Jesus Christ the Son, created all things, but it was through and for and by Jesus Christ. So if he is a creator of all this, right, wouldn't his wisdom and just knowledge and all these things be so incredible? And I'm let me think about all the things he said. He said a lot. He said certain things, and I realized, okay, the parables. So basically my thought process was these parables seem very simple, and this is even since a long time ago, I've always had this inclination that these parables are a lot deeper than the surface level, right? So basically the idea and the point is that, from what I found with that parable I just explained, is there's so many more revelations you can just get from that one parable. And I wanted to just share another one with you that I believe isn't necessarily the explanation from the Bible, but if you meditate upon these parables and you ask questions about them and try to dig, I think they're eternal parables. You'll never find the bottom of these. You'll never fully understand these parables that Jesus said. So for all of life, you can meditate on his parables and get certain revelations. And so I had this thought process, and I went and I sat down and I read that parable again, and sure enough, I feel like I got a revelation about how the tares in the wheat also can represent the dual nature within ourselves, as far as evil thoughts and good thoughts, good deeds and evil deeds, the things that we battle with within ourselves as Christians, and what is usually the scenario, and I'm not saying this is not the way to go about it, obviously, but what is the idea of taking away sin from our life is usually just stop doing it, cut it out of your life, right? But I believe a deeper revelation is the same thing. God is saying, no, that is actually not the way to really get rid of sin. And it goes with the parable saying the tares, let them grow with the wheat, right? So let's say you have things in your life, addictions and problems and things like that. It's not about trying your best to cut them out somehow, through some serious self-control. But what you should do is plant that wheat, right? It starts at a seed. And what does the wheat represent in your personal life? It represents the good deeds that you do, the good things you got going for your life, the love, the joy, the peace, the good relationships. Yeah, there's some bad relationships, which are the tares. There are some bad deeds, addictions that you do, which are the tares. But God is saying, no, you got to water those wheat, no matter what, even if the tares are growing next to the wheat, right? And what the goal is you want to get those wheat full grown, which is the good deeds. You want to perfect all the good things in your life. You want to focus on the good things in your life. And when those good deeds have reached their fullness, right, they'll take up more of the time in your day. They'll take up more of your mind, right? If you have a habit of giving to the poor, thank God that you have that desire. Thank God that you were able to do that. If you have a habit of being kind and merciful and whatever the good things in your life are, you know, thank God for them and water them and tend to them. And yes, there are going to be tares that are growing up alongside, which are those sins in your life, right? But if you can get those wheat to be full grown when the time comes, right? And this is what Jesus was saying in the parable. When the wheat are full grown and they're ready to be harvested, he's going to chop down the wheat and the tares. He's going to keep the wheat and burn the tares. So basically, that's what he's going to, you know, the idea is like, this is how we can become more holy and righteous, is through, you know, getting those wheat full grown. Make sure you're watering the good things. Make sure you're thanking God, because guess what? If you're focused on only the sin in your life, the problems, it's not gonna. I mean, we all know that it doesn't work so well. We all tried to just pray about it, think about it, try to stop it. But even with regular life things, I mean, there's science back behind the idea of, instead of trying to focus on stopping bad things, if you replace it, you know, this, like as far as alcohol addiction, this is what they always say. Instead of thinking about alcohol, or, you know, trying to be so self-controlled and putting yourself around alcohol and then not doing it, these type of things, no, you replace it with something, right? Cigarettes too, addiction to cigarettes. They say if you have to replace that time that you usually smoke cigarettes, replace it with something more positive. So this is the idea of our personal lives, and the battle between good and evil that happens within us is to focus and water and, you know, thank God and acknowledge and all these things on all the things you got going for your life that are good. The people, the children, the brothers, the sisters, the parents, anything good in your life, you know, good relationships, good, you know, you got a good house, you got a car, maybe whatever it is, you know, everybody has their things they can be thankful for. Focus on those things and develop those things. Cause those things to grow even more. And sure enough, you know, I believe it's a promise from Jesus Christ that he will harvest and burn the tares, those bad things that are in your life that we all hate as Christians. So hope this was an encouraging message for you guys. God bless. I'll see you again soon.